Hello, my name is David Webb, and this is a video for Dweebovision. I am a Scrabble grandmaster, and in this video I am going to play Scrabble while providing in-game commentary on my moves. Hopefully this will help to improve your game, and be fun to watch. The game has just started, so let's join the action. It's me to go first. I have the Z, I don't have a bingo. I'm looking to see if I can play the Z on the double letter square at H4 or H12. And I can do that, I can play zoned. I would have liked to have played off the F as well, but I can't see a way of doing that and getting the Z doubled. Zoned for 50. Well, not a great rack. I have duplicate tiles, and the F and the W are not bingo-y tiles. They are, however, scoring tiles, so I should be able to play my way through this. A play of Writ would leave FIR. I think I'm going to struggle to resolve the duplicates and play the F and the W. But I shall see what's available. Now both my F and W can go before and after the E of zoned, while the F can go in both spots, the W just before. Right, 29 points for my opponent. I am immediately drawn to the triple letter square underneath no, where my W can go. I can't see a way of playing anything apart from a single tile. I've got a double-double lane in column 5 I need to consider. Can't see a way of playing a double-double. So, what about the square I was looking at earlier? So I can play fur in this spot. $24 points. Can I do something better than that? I'd like to play off the W rather than the F. But I can't see a way of doing that and resolving the duplicates. So I think I will go with this. I draw a couple of S's, which is good. I don't think I have a bingo, but this should be fairly straightforward to resolve. I've got the W for score, so I ought to be able to leave myself with a pretty good rack leave. Now through a T I would have twistors. There are no floaters at all at the moment, so I'll have to see if my opponent provides any. He does, he provides an I. I don't think Fenny is good though. Great. So. But Fen I is good, and I can play my W here. So, what I can do is play Whis, leaving sort. Can I do anything better than that? And I note that I could put a T in front of the W, making ought and twy. But I can't see anything better than this, and this is 35 points, which is a pretty good score. Well, no scoring tiles at all. And I don't have a bingo. So I'll be looking to play off the U, one of the T's, and either the L or the O. And I could play lout and nout. I'm just looking around to make sure that I haven't overlooked any floaters, and I don't think I have. So is lout best? And louts would score 10 more points, but I'm inclined to keep the S, especially with column 10 available for a 7-letter bingo ending in S. I could play Strout in column 8. 21 points. Well, I think the rack leave is better after lout. £15 points. Ooh, no vowels at all, and there are no vowels on the board to play through. Or not easily available. TWP is good, and that plays in row K, making ST, but doesn't score very much. Nice bingo by my opponent. He does provide plenty of vowels. But I don't have a bingo with only one vowel. I can play twerp in row A. That's pretty good because the P gets doubled. And the rack leave is okay. 39 points. Wow, that's much better than I was expecting when I first saw the rack. I have a 63-point lead at the moment. Now I have the Q. I can play chin in row E through the I of egalite. And I've got cat in row C through the A. No U's available. And I can't see any longer Q words that can be played. Now I think twerp takes a Y. But if I can play the Q off, I will. Chin scores 24 points. And cat 22. Great, both of those stay available. My opponent's provided another spot for cat through the A of Ogham. But I think I'll leave that available because his play of Ogham has provided access to 2 triple word squares. By playing chin, I'm leaving both open, so I ought to have, or will have, first dibs at least one of them. 24 points. This looks pretty good. I may not have a bingo, but I should have a decent rack leave after my move. So if twerpy is good, and I think it is, I could play Yid or Yeti. I'm just wondering if I have a bingo with this rack. Now, looking in column 1, I've got TD and Yo, or Ditty and Yo. I don't think I've got anything particularly good at the bottom. Well, I've got a 3-letter play. I could play Yet. But it would be nicer if my play started 1 square higher. But I can only do that by playing the S, so I could play Stay, S-T-E-Y. That would be 36 points, not bad. So, where else can my Y go? Pretty good score for my opponent, 43. And that means that if I played stay down here, it's going to score a lot more. 45 points. Now, what if I play ditty higher up? 32 points, so a 13-point difference. Wow. The S is worth about 8, so these moves are actually quite close. The S is worth about 8, the E is worth maybe 2. When moves are close, I tend to prefer the one with the better rack leave. So 32 points for ditty. Now, this isn't a bingo-y rack, but I have the J, which is good for score. So I'm looking around for places where I can play it. I could play jaunts in row C through the A of Egalite. 42 points, that's pretty good, but burns the S. I've got Sujis in column 8. Wow, 63 points, fantastic. I'm pretty sure this is good. It would be a strange word to imagine if it's not good. The rack leave is awful, but 63 points is bingo territory in terms of score. And that's a very kind pickup. I don't think I have a bingo, but the rack could have been a lot worse. And I have a scoring tile in the Y. Now I'm looking in column 1 to see if I've got a 4-letter play at the bottom, beginning with A. So A, L, U or E, but I don't think I have. That's a shame. That would have scored quite well. I have a 76-point lead, but this board is wide open and there are 2 blanks unplayed. So my opponent would be right back in it if he bingoed. Now, do I have a play through the J? It needs to be 5 letters long to reach the double word square, and I'd like to play off the U and the Y. Well, can't see such a play. I note I could play Oy in column 4, O-Y-E. That would be 40 points, which is a huge score. It's retaining the U, but I'm retaining the N with it, which is good because the U is generally a bad tile, but the N is synergetic with it. Ah, and my opponent has taken that spot. Now I could play Blay, B-L-A-Y, which I think is good, in column 1. 41 points, that's very good. I'm not 100% sure of it, but I think it is good. Rack leave isn't good at all. So am I missing something which scores about the same? Well, I don't think so. And that's the trouble with keeping a poor rack. Poor rack leave, you end up with a poor rack. No scoring tiles at all, and duplicate tiles. I'm just looking at the vowel consonant balance of the unseen tiles. There are 26 tiles in the bag, 7 on my opponent's rack, so 33 tiles unseen. 15 vowels, so about half of the unseen tiles are blanks. The J's in just the wrong position for injure. And I can't see any other plays beginning with the J. I don't think there are any 8-letter bingos with these tiles. Now I could change at this point. I could throw back 2 U's and an I and keep quite a good rack leave in EINR. And that set of 4 tiles goes particularly well with the S of Suji's. But since my lead is only 80 points, it would be nicer to keep the score rolling along. But I'm struggling to see anywhere that scores in the region of 20 points or more. I could play urine or inure in column 2. 19 points, but that's keeping a rack leave of UI, which isn't good. But possibly that's better than changing. And turning over 5 tiles, I'm increasing my chances of drawing a blank. Through an O, I would have UI. That's unlikely to score very much. I'm looking in column row C to see if I've got something through the A and the V. Can't see anything there. I've got 12 minutes left. My opponent's got 10, and there are 26 tiles in the bag, so neither of us is in time trouble. Now, I could play Twerpia in row A. 39 points. Well, that is better than changing, even though I'm retaining 2 U's, which is dreadful. But I note that 2 U's have been played, so I certainly can't end up with 3 U's. And if I play Twerpia, I am at least retaining an N, which helps with the U's. Now my opponent's taking a while with his move, so he could well have a blank and be looking for a bingo. Well, he doesn't. He plays 4 tiles for 23 points. Has he provided anything for me? Well, I could play Joiner, but that's not going to use up any of my U's. I don't think I've got a play better than Twerpia. Pretty awful. I think a change may be coming up. In which case I'd probably throw back 6 tiles, retaining just 1 E. Gosh, that's a pretty good score and a pretty obscure word. I'm going to challenge it. I'm not familiar with that. And it's good. Okay, great move by my opponent. And he's now just 20 points behind me. Only 13 tiles in the bag, 2 blanks unseen. I think I do have to change at this point. I mean, I could play menu, but that's not going to score very much. And I'm just going to struggle with this rack. And I'd certainly like to get hold of at least one of these blanks. And I do. Fantastic. And I think I have white cleep in row B and TE. Not totally sure of that, but I think it's good. Do I have an alternative bingo? Certainly plenty of floaters in schmock to consider. And the C has synergy with the K. Well, haven't seen anything yet. Any bingo I do have is going to be low probability because of the 3 E's, the C and the P. Great, my white cleep spot is available. I've got 11 minutes. I'll just spend a little time seeing if I can come up with a better play. 8 tiles in the bag, including a lot of vowels. Well, still including, I think, everything I chucked back last go. Now, do I have something beginning with the K? That would probably score the most. No. I think I am going to play white cleep. I'm not 100% sure of it. If it's not good, something very close to it is good. I don't draw the blank. My opponent's probably got it. If this comes off, my opponent may well bingo. Great, it stays on. Fantastic. Now, I've got an 80-point lead. My opponent could well be about to bingo, in which case it'll be a very close end game. I do not have a good rack. I have no scoring tiles at all. And if my opponent bingos, he will be taking the one remaining tile. Now, the advantage of that is that with only one tile, his ability to score will be limited. So, do I have any plays in column 3? With no scoring tiles on my rack, I'm looking to use a scoring tile on the board. Fortunately, I have 10 minutes, so I'm in no time trouble at all. My opponent has not bingoed. He's got 32 points. He's now 47 points behind, which is a long way behind. He's not going to bingo. He's only got 4 tiles, so I think this game is won. Now, I can play a Jew down here. And that scores 18 points. It keeps ION. I can go out in 2 spots. I've got coin in column 3. I've got keno in column 15. In an actual tournament, I probably would spend longer looking for the absolute best play, but I don't think there's any need to in this game. I suspect the best plays are not terribly much better than the ones I'm going to make. Right, my opponent's gone out, 18 points, and that's the end of the game. So, pass to end the game. And the final score, 410 to my opponent, 451 to me, a winning margin of 41 points. Now, ag, I think that means again. Okay. Now, so winning margin of 41 points, exciting game, some nice words, schmock and Wycleep, I think, in particular. Let's see what I missed. It was me to go first, and zoned was the highest scoring play. This was my opponent's rack, which looks pretty good. I did not have a good rack, and I played fur, and that looks best. And this is where I played whist, and I could have got slightly more for whist or wits. Well, probably not a great deal between those moves. Whist only scores one more point, and the T is quite a bingo-y tile with the R and the S. My opponent struggled with vowels, and this was my rack. I thought about Strout with a rack leave of LS and preferred nothing that's down there. Lout for 15. Yeah, I think Lout for 15 keeping STR is better than 6 more points keeping LS, but there's probably not a great deal between them. Nice bingo by my opponent. And that enabled me to get out of jail with 39 points for twerp when I was facing a difficult rack with no floating vowels. This was where my opponent played Ogham, and I had the Q. I played Chin, and yeah, I think that looks best. My opponent played Lax. Wow, stited for 51 or for 42, pretty good. I didn't see either of those, but, well, I considered stay for 45, which is in the same ballpark as stited, but preferred ditty because of the rack leave. Yeah, but stited for 42, I think, was the play because it keeps the S. Now, this was my rack, and I played Suji's for 63, and that looks best. My opponent played Bang, blocking my Oi play in column 4. Ooh, painful. Okay, I missed a bingo there uneasily for 62. Well done if you spotted that. I played the second move down, Blay, for 41, keeping EINU. Uneasily, certainly the better play. And this was an awful rack. Unfortunately, Twerpia was available to bail me out score-wise, even though the rack leave was dreadful. Super word from my opponent, Schmock. And I changed here, and I think that's right. There were no plays scoring more than 20 points, and if you look down the rack leaves here, they are simply awful. And this was my rack. I played Wycleep, which is the third move down. There was also Cleaped at a coming down in column 2, and Opus Sealy in column 13 through the O of Schmock, all scoring similar amounts. Now, this was my opponent's rack. There was one in the bag. The final tile in the bag must have been the blank. Well, that's unfortunate for my opponent, but did he have a bingo with this rack? No, he didn't. And this was my rack. I didn't spend too long trying to find the best play. I played a Jew for 18. Iodine was available for 21, so probably Iodine slightly better than a Jew. And my opponent went out with QT, and the game ended, and I won by 41 points. So just overall, a pretty general game, no particularly distinguishing characteristics, some nice words and some challenging racks. And overall just a good fun game. So I hope you enjoyed watching that and got something out of it. My name is David Webb, and this has been a video for Dweebovision.